Professor, Department of ISE. This video is to give brief introduction about File Structures Laboratory. Second program is all about implementing one of the record structure where we are storing fixed length record into a file and we are implementing pack, unpack, display, modify and search methods using on a fixed length record.
Second program is to read and write the student objects with fixed length records, and we are implementing pack, unpack, modify and search methods. Coming to the program, we use one file pointer fp, and n is the number of records. Initially it will be 0, and fname is the variable which stores the name of the file. Here we are creating a class called as student. Inside a class, we have three fields: USN, name and branch. And we are implementing the methods called as pack, unpack, display and search. Coming to the main function, first we create object of student class. S1 is an object of student class. Then we enter the name, file name in fname. So then we open that file in the write mode, and trunk option will delete all the previous contents. Then we close the file by using close function. Then we provide the choices to insert, display, search and modify using the switch statement. Case 1 is to insert the records, case 2 is to display the contents, and third option is to search and modify. So if you enter the choice as 1, then it will go to the pack function. So pack function is used to read the file contents. So here in the file content has three fields: USN, name and branch. So since it is a fixed length record, we are fixing the number of bytes as 28. So buffer is the array which is used to store the contents of the file, and the size of it is 28 bytes. First we read USN, name and branch using CN. So we copy the contents of the USN, what we have read, into the buffer. Then we concatenate a delimiter, so in order to separate the different fields. Next we concatenate the name, then again the delimiter, then branch, again the delimiter. Next we calculate the length by using the string length function. So if the length is less than 27 bytes, so then we append the hash character to the file. So we increment the length variable by +1. Then at last we append null character. Since it is a string of characters, we append the null character. Then we can write the contents of the buffer onto the file pointer fp. So this is the pack function. So second option is to display the contents of the file. So going to the display function, so initially if n will be 0, so that is no records will be there. So hence if n is equal to, it will check. If n is equal to 0, then it will display no records to display. As we call the pack function, so it will display the contents. So the n will be incremented. Next, to display the contents, so it will be calling the for function, for loop. First the contents of the file will be stored to the buffer, and we call the unpack function. So unpack function is to separate the fields of the single record and display. So coming to the unpack function, so first it will separate the fields by using string token function. So until it reaches, once it reaches the delimiter, first delimiter, so then it is one field will be displayed, that is USN. Second field, again it is indicated by the second delimiter, then the USN will be displayed, and name and branch. So this is your unpack function to separate the different fields in a single record and display onto the screen. Then the last option is to search and modify. So we can also search the file or the record based on the USN, and if you want to modify any contents, you can do it. So coming to the search function, we have two arrays. One is buffer, another one is temporary variable. So and we are reading the key which has to be searched, that is the USN to be searched. So we are opening the file in both read mode as well as write mode, since we are modifying the file also. First we read the contents of the file onto the buffer, then we will copy the contents of the buffer to the temporary file, because we need to retain the file as it is when we separate the USN. So USN will be separated by string token function. Once it reaches the delimiter, the USN will be separated and stored in a USN variable. Then we compare key to be searched and the USN, first USN. If it is equal, then it will say record is found. Then we call the unpack function to separate the different fields of a single record and display onto the screen. So if you want to modify, then we can give the choices between 1 and 2. So if it is yes, then we will move the pointer. seek p is a function which will move the pointer to the particular position. So here in this case we are moving from the current position to the 27th position backwards. That is minus 27 indicates we are moving towards backward to the position. Then we call the pack function to insert the another new record in the place of the old record what we are replacing. So this is your fourth option. So these are the different options to perform pack, unpack, search and modify.
Let us look at the output. So let us execute the program. It is asking for a file name. So let me give pg2.txt. Let us try display. So you don't have any contents in your file, so there is no content. Let us enter one record. Let me insert one more. So I have 2 records in my file. Let me display. So it is displaying both the records. Let us do a search. So if I let us say I'm searching for 1 GB, it does not exist. It is going to say record not found. When I do a search and modify on 1 GB 01, so that file, that record exists, so it is displaying the contents. If we want to modify, let us say I am giving USN name branch. So now let us display the contents. So as you can see, the modified records will be displayed onto the screen. Now let us go back and check our text file. Your text file will look something like this. So since you have added padding to make it into a fixed length record, you will be filling it with hash here.